התחלתי.
Among the most dramatic, surprising moments of the entire Tanakh is when Yosef reveals his true identity to his brothers. And this story is a source for so much hope. It teaches us that people could change. Yehuda, who at one point sold his brother to slavery, is now willing to sacrifice himself to save his brother. And Yosef, despite the pain and trauma he went through at the hands of his brothers, he is willing to forgive and move on. In the 20th century, this story was used explicitly for one of the most dramatic changes in relationships between religions. In a process called Nostra Aetate, Latin for in our times, the Catholic Church redefined the relationship to the Jewish people, rejecting certain tenets that had led to so much anti-Semitism throughout the ages. The story begins with a French Jew, Jules Isaac, whose wife and daughter were murdered during the Holocaust, writing a book which demonstrate how the horrors of the Holocaust, much of it evolved from the ancient anti-Semitism rooted in the church. The Pope, Pope John the 22nd, read the book, was deeply moved, called Jules for a meeting, and when Jules asked him, "Is there room for hope?" the Pope answered, "There's room for more than that." The Pope called Cardinal Bia, who began a process that ultimately led to Vatican II, and within it, redefining the relationship to the Jewish people, as I said, rejecting tenets that led to hatred and suffering for the Jewish people. But I use the word process because it didn't happen all at once. And an early version expressed a hope for a future of the church and synagogue uniting, which could be understood as a hope for the conversion of Jews. When Rabbi Avram Yeshua Heschel heard of this, he traveled to Rome, symbolically on the night of Yom Kippur, met the Pope, and said, "If I had to choose between to die as a Jew in the gas chambers or give up my Jewish identity, I will die as a Jew." This shook the Pope, and the Pope changed it, rejecting that aspect. During the course of this process, a process of 50 years, the church came to recognize the state of Israel. Later documents, in 2015, a document rejecting the mission to the Jewish people of converting because Jews achieved salvation as Jews. This, a later Pope, John Paul II, also, there are very moving stories relating to him. At the 50th anniversary of Nostra Aetate, I was told by a person who was at an event commemorating it, the person, one of the rabbis, told the Pope that my father is also from Poland. The Pope asked him, "So what did your father say about the Polish?" He said, "My father told me they're anti-Semites." So the Pope said, "Let me tell you a story. I was 15 years old when the Nazis came to my school. They gathered the Jewish teachers. They murdered them. And I prayed and said, God, if I ever have a position of influence, I will use it to help your people." He became the first Polish Pope, and indeed he brought about the recognition of the state of Israel. And when he came to Israel, he went to the Kotel, and at the Kotel he put in a note which refers to our story. And allow me to read you the note, which is now preserved in Yad Vashem. "God of our fathers, you chose Abraham and his descendants to bring your name to the nations. We are deeply saddened by the behavior of those who in the course of history have caused your children to suffer. We ask your forgiveness. We wish to commit ourselves to genuine brotherhood with the people of the covenant." Yes, there's still a long way to go, but we must embrace every step in the right direction, and Jews and Christians ask ourselves, what can we do to help heal this relationship? Allow me to end with the vision of Rabbi Eliyahu ben Amazei that says at the closing verse of the book of prophets, tells about Eliyahu the prophet when the future will reunite the hearts of the fathers and the sons. And he says this is a image for the relationship of Judaism, the ancient religion, and the religions that emerged from Judaism, Christianity and Islam, that one day we will heal the relationships between us.